So this is the man police have now announced as being the perpetrator of Anne Widdecombe's murder.
We are being lied to on a mass scale because only last week the footage of this man was released.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again, and believe it or not, they've actually revealed the face of the person they're claiming to be the suspect. Okay, so here we have the face of Joshua Kerry. He is currently being quizzed by the police. Looking at this photo, ladies and gentlemen, let's just be totally honest. This looks more like the Canadian actor Seth Rogen than it does the guy we saw in the CCTV footage from the other day. So Anne Widdecombe's alleged murderer, which means at this moment in time, he hasn't been charged, which means there must not be enough evidence to charge him. How do you have someone in custody for over 7 days and you haven't charged him? All of the evidence that points to this guy being the perpetrator, bearing in mind, we've got the red car, we've got the CCTV surveillance from Anne's home. Why at this point have they not been able to charge him? That's just extremely baffling, I have to be honest. Another question that a lot of people have at this point is, how did they know it was this guy in Motherwell? How did they get this guy's information so fast? CCTV, it says here, was obtained by the Sun. But it says that they obtained the CCTV showing him leaving the address. It doesn't show him leaving the address. It shows him opening the door of a car. The passenger side of the car, in fact. Not even the driver's side. What did he do? Get his big fat belly through the passenger seat, over the gearbox into the driver's seat? I don't know. Misinformation. We don't see him leaving the address. We don't see him leaving the address whatsoever. It says here, Miss Widdecombe allegedly suffered severe head injuries after being bludgeoned before being found by her carer who called 999. Now, a chilling picture of Kerry has now emerged, showing the murderer suspect smiling as he holds a jar of Easter egg for the charity fundraiser, or for a charity fundraiser. So this is a charity man, a guy that does charity, interestingly. We've been told already that after his father died, his mentality changed, his attitude changed. He became distant from people in his local area. People rarely see him. But for some reason, I'm just not buying this guy opening the passenger door of this red car, of this red Corsa, as being the same guy as this guy. It's different features. Like, you can't pull the wool on this one. We've actually got the picture as well. I'll put the picture on the screen. So this is new information. It is understood that Russian and communist material was discovered on the alleged killer's device. And thereafter, that is when the terrorism police would have got themselves involved. So basically, once they raided his house and they went through all of his devices and discovered what they discovered, they rearrested him. CCTV footage showed a pole described by neighbors as a wooden baton sticking out of the pocket of his cargo shorts on Wednesday. He was seen returning to the red brick council house at 6 p.m. that evening. And this is where thousands of us have more questions. Because how does someone in a Vauxhall Corsa that has barely moved, even one of you guys made a really good point, and this has even happened to me, where I haven't driven the car for about a month, 2 months, and I've gone to start the car, pressing the button, and the thing won't even turn on. I've had to call Don's out to come and start the battery. So when you're hearing that this Vauxhall Corsa was sitting in the driveway for months and months and months, and it had weeds growing on it, at what point does this car get serviced? At what point can this guy feel confident enough that this car is actually going to take him all the way to Anne Widdecombe's home and back again on the same day without breaking down? And another thing to mention at this point, which we've already mentioned before, is the fact that he doesn't stop at any service stations. He doesn't stop for petrol. Now, I find that extremely weird based on the fact that this guy does look like he is on the overweight side, let's say. He looks like he's got a belly. He looks a bit chubby. Even in the photo that they're trying to produce of him being in a workplace, he looks like he's got some meat on him there. But the actual image that we can see on the screen right now, which is taken from the day he was arrested, you're telling me this guy done over 500 miles and didn't need a pit stop to take a piss? There's no way this guy drove all that way and drove back without stopping to take a leak. In fact, the amount of miles he completed that day, based on what they are publishing right now, is 540 miles, yeah? In one trip, in one day, in a broken down Vauxhall Corsa. But what I find extremely weird is that they've published this picture of him in a workplace before they have shown us CCTV of this car on the drive, or before they've shown us him breaking into Anne's property or knocking on the door or whatever the case may have been. That would have been more of a priority to show us over a random picture of some guy that doesn't even look like the suspect in a work environment. My opinion, and this is most people's opinions at this moment in time, something dodgy is taking place. The family's only conclusion at this point, and this is what we read the other day, is about his dad. His dad. So they believe after the death of his dad, that's when he maybe, potentially, would have spiraled out of control. But why would the loss of someone's dad lead to someone spiraling out of control to the point where they will travel over 500 miles and kill someone, an innocent person, a harmless person who has literally done nothing to them? Like, why would they go out of their way to kill that person? Like, you as a family member would know if they had some really demonic views against that person. Like, you would know, like, oh yeah, you know, my nephew doesn't really like reform, or my nephew didn't really rate Anne through her conservative time, or my nephew didn't really rate Anne for leaving conservative and going to reform. Like, I don't know. I mean, at this point, based on the information that we've been given by the family, it doesn't even sound like this guy had any political interest, any political views, like any political opinions. Like, did this guy even care about politics? Like, they haven't even mentioned anything about politics whatsoever. They're scratching their heads thinking, well, why? Why? It can only be the dad dying. You know, the dad dying, he spiraled out of control and decided to go and kill an old lady. Out of all of the people that he could have potentially attacked and killed, he decides to go all the way to Dartmoor. Come on, Dartmoor. And kill Anne Widdecombe, out of all people. And it's not to say that we wanted anyone else to die, but it's just like logically thinking, like, if you spiraled out of control because of the loss of your dad, wouldn't it make logical sense that you would just attack anyone and everyone that's in your locality? And the problem we're having at this moment in time is no one is portraying this guy to be that type of guy. It's not like the neighbors are saying, yeah, he walks around the area moving a bit booky and, you know, people feel a bit frightened of him. And no, all they've kind of said is since the death of his dad, he's become distant. He's become slightly antisocial. Okay, so that doesn't mean he's going to travel over 500 miles with a wooden stick just to go and hit it over an old lady's head and drive all the way home. You know, come on, that's just not adding up.
So this is the man police have now announced as being the perpetrator of Anne Widdecombe's murder. So this is a picture of him. This is Joshua Kerry. The only thing that I'm worried about is that doesn't really look like the bloke on the CCTV footage, does it? I don't know. I mean, it might be a picture that was years ago. He shaved his beard. I don't know. Looks a little bit different to me. But hey-ho, the police know best. Wonder how long he'll get. Shameful.
Massive shout out to Nick. I mean, a lot of people in the comment section of his video is also agreeing with what we're saying. That is not the same guy.
We are being lied to on a mass scale because only last week the footage of this man was released. He is the guy who police say is responsible for the death of Anne Widdecombe. Right. Apparently he did a 6 to 7 hour journey in rush hour traffic in 4 hours in a Vauxhall Corsa. A Vauxhall Corsa with a 45 litre fuel tank size. No stops, no needing the toilet, no needing to actually find out where Anne lived. On the back of country lanes. Just straight there, he knew his entrances and his exits, and then he left. He was straight out and then straight back home. Again, no stopping, no fueling up, job done, and now police have just released... they've just released this photo of him. Now, apparently, this is the same guy that they released footage of just a few days ago. Joshua Kerry, 28, from Rotherham, who seemed to simply wake up one day, drive a 600-mile round trip to go and murder a 78-year-old woman who he'd never met, and he did the drive without even putting his glasses on. Right. What do you think? What have you heard and seen? I've made my thoughts clear, but what are yours? Let me know in the comments below.
Everything surrounding this case is extremely dodgy and sketchy. And I wonder why they don't want us to speculate. Actually going to be back with another video because I was just reading through an article. The real reasons as to why they don't want us to speculate. It's a very interesting article. I'm going to bring it to your attention in another video. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you guys leave all your thoughts and all your opinions down below. I need to know exactly what you're thinking right now, especially after watching those clips and seeing the image of the alleged suspect. I need to know what you guys are thinking. Is the wool being pulled? Are we being manipulated to believe something that isn't entirely true? I need you guys to leave those thoughts and all those comments down below. Be sure to hit the like button. Plenty more videos uploading. Don't go anywhere. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.